Hello everybody, QA Touch is back with a series of webinars and today we have Deepak call with us. Deepak is an engineering manager with Red Hat. He has been with Red Hat for more than 10 years and prior to that was a QE lead at PTC for 5 years. Deepak manages the Red Hat ecosystem digital experience platforms and he has been a prolific speaker in conferences speaking on tech and psychological aspects of software development and testing. And today, Deepak will talk about the 5 tricks for testers to influence teams.
Hello all, my name is Deepak Kaul. I'm a manager of software engineering in Red Hat. And as promised in the intro video, today I'm going to talk about 5 tricks for testers to boost their influence. So let's get started. About me, as I said, I'm a manager of software engineering in Red Hat. And prior to that, I was a manager of quality engineering as well as a tester for almost 14 years before shifting to software development engineering. So prior to working in Red Hat, in which I have recently completed 10 years, I used to work in a company called PTC as a QE lead. So I have done a lot of test automation. I'm still learning front-end development, and uh, I also used to do some kind of community work with Ministry of Testing as well as right now with Culture First community. So that's all about me. Let's jump onto the slides. Okay, so on your screen, you see a very rare blue-eyed unicorn. I say this is rare. The chances of finding this animal are very rare, 1 in a billion, if you are a believer. But you know what's rarer than this? Finding a person in the college who says that they'll probably become a software test engineer when they start their job or probably start their IT job. The thing is that we don't have an inherent passion towards software testing when we start our careers. And that has been a very uh, basic problem of this craft all throughout. So, around 18 years ago, there was this Hindi movie called Lakshya, where the protagonist uh, just to kind of impress his father joins the army, but he does not have a very solid passion towards being in army. So his initial few days are full of hiccups and everything, and then at some point he kind of finds himself and finds that he was made for the army, and then it's a very good ride from that point onwards, and he does great things as is shown in the movie. But that's I think a clear case with the testers too. We we also, even though we don't aspire to be testers when we are in college, but at some point in our careers we find ourselves, and we know that this is the field we were made for, and then it's a great going from that point onwards. But the problem is, as early as you find that uh, moment of realization, it's good for you and your career. All right, so let's now start with we discovered the problem. The problem is that testing as a profession, when people enter testing as a profession, they don't have the passion, the conviction in the craft when they start. Eventually they get at it, but when they start, so for some people it might take years to get that conviction, that moment of realization. So today, what I'm going to do is, based on my experience as a tester myself for so many years, and then managing strong teams of testers throughout, I'm going to tell you 5 ways to increase or boost your influence in your teams. And the first way is establishing authority. You might have, if you're not living under a rock, you might have come across toothpaste ads where a doctor, essentially a dentist, but I don't know what does a dentist do with a stethoscope. But the idea that marketers at all the leading toothpaste brands have is that uh, a person with a white coat, white apron, and a stethoscope who looks like a doctor kind of has the authority of telling you what to do with your teeth. So they use that kind of authority to tell you to brush twice a day, use that much of toothpaste, and which brand of toothpaste to use, right? And we as set of people who are not doctors usually follow their advice, even though they are just actors, they are not doctors, right? The idea of establishing authority with respect to testing as a field is being good at least one thing. I'm not asking everyone to be good at coding or be good at programming and test automation or DevOps for that instance. I just want testers to be good at one thing. It can be anything. It can be database, can be just BizOps, right? You are good at solving, understanding business problems than the actual implementation problems. So the idea is being good, really good at least one thing. Don't try to be jack of all trades when you are in testing. You know bit of performance testing, bit of test automation, bit of understanding business, bit of understanding the product. Be really good at something. Establish that T type of specialization. Okay. The second thing is communication. So if you look at it, the job of a tester is to reveal the product risk to the stakeholders who have to make decisions, right? So while doing so, communication is very important. So what we do is, as testers who are yet to learn about, let's say, uh, test automation, we kind of in that flow, whenever we present some information to our team, we kind of use a very uh, implementation kind of way to uh, very suggestive and prescriptive ways to present our information, which is not good, right? If you have given interviews in the last 5 years as a tester, or if you have taken interviews and probably read blogs and uh, what the influencers in this field talk about how to write bug reports, right? They'll tell you to attach screenshots and write steps to reproduce and write clearly so that developers can reproduce your problem quickly, and there is less of you know uh, back and forth between you and developers, so everyone saves the time, which is good. But if you look at a bug report, it has two aspects. One, it is an information for a developer to first reproduce the problem that you revealed, and then probably to implement it if the product manager thinks so. But it is also a problem for the product manager to it is also a problem for the product manager to uh, uh, tell whether this issue that you revealed is important for our stakeholders or not, whether this bug that you reported should be triaged and brought in the current working board and fixed quickly. So presenting your bug report by tweaking your communication, part of it talking to developer, the summary or the description talking to a product manager or a product owner, is is a clever tactic which every tester should employ. Third thing, so all the successful testers that you find, now are actually also very famous testers. And why is it so? Because they share. Share is a very basic human trait. Whenever they find something, they have this inherent tendency to share it on Twitter or LinkedIn or anywhere else, or to internal meetings, conferences, meetups, and everywhere. They socialize, they follow other testers, they expand their horizon of how the craft is and what are the newest techniques and processes and tools and everything. So even if you don't have anything unique or niche to say, just engage with other testers, other famous people on the LinkedIn and other social media platforms to socialize, talk to them. If they are probably posting about a tool, ask questions, make your presence felt, not only outside in the broader testing community, but also internally in your team meetings, and ask questions. Be curious. Okay, so another thing is there is a maturity in which we reveal or present information to others, right? Let's say, let me give an example. You're going somewhere and you see that a car comes and uh, hits a biker, and the biker falls down. He's not injured much, uh, but he falls down, and then the the police comes and you report the problem to them. You report the incident, what happened. You saw a car coming at some speed and then hitting the biker. The information that you presented in your testimony to the police is just reporting the information. You have not reasoned why was the car coming from this side at that time, why was the biker riding in that area, was it a designated biker's lane, was the car in the correct lane, uh, was it the green light or the red light, so all of that information you have not uh, presented your case to the police with your own reasoning, right? But that should not happen. It's okay. It's okay to just report things in those matters, in legal matters. But when you are working in a software company, information, especially the actionable information that someone needs to take decisions on, should not be just plain reporting. It should contain your own analysis of what's actually happening. So when you put your own analysis on data or information, it turns into knowledge for other person to quickly take decisions and spend less time on analyzing themselves. And eventually, it boosts your own influence across the team. For example, uh, all of us have test reports, right? We run the automated tests on our builds, and then we get these fancy colorful reports and we present these reports to whoever wants to see them, right? That is just reporting. The automated email that comes from your CI tool like Jenkins or Bitbucket is just reporting. It's not adding any valuable analysis on the report. That happens when you get that email, you forward it to rest of the team by adding your own analysis of what do you think is happening, why are some tests failing, why are some tests passing, what is the ratio of fail to pass, and what are the trends and from the last build, all of those things. So the idea is whenever you present information, don't just report, take the next steps towards reporting maturity and analyze it, reconstruct it, keep that heuristic with you that I saw that this thing happened, and I know based on my information of the product, my knowledge of the team, my knowledge of the tooling, I actually know why this happened. Add that detail to whatever you present. All right. The last thing is in most of the software development teams, based on my experience of 15 to 16 years, I have noticed that the engineering mindset is very algorithmic. It by default focuses on the output, like this slide, right? This is output, number of tests failing or passing. This is just plain output. It's not an outcome. Outcome is when the user who runs your software feels happy running your software, does not feel any accessibility issues or any other kind of bugs uh, trying to do what your software is supposed to do. So that's the outcome. So in a crowd where everyone is focused on output, it is very easy for a tester to focus on outcomes and actually stand apart from rest of the crowd. That that focus on outcomes gives you the, let's say, visibility and the attention of stakeholders. So I'll again give you an example. So think about you are testing something and you find a bug with, let's say, the comment section of your application, right? You see that it's not supporting the markup, and you can, whenever you paste some HTML in it, it actually shows the HTML tags, right? So the default step for any tester would now be to file a bug report, right? You'll go ahead and file a bug report that implement uh, markup for this comment box or comment text area, and you'll write the steps to reproduce for your developer, and then maybe your product manager would find it, let's say, an important bug, and then they'll start working on it. But one thing that you missed here is focusing on the outcome, right? So in such cases, as I said in reason 2 uh, communication item, the focus should be on outcome. So the summary part of the bug should actually talk to your product manager on behalf of your customer. So the idea should be make make the comment section uh, uh, support HTML that our customers use when copying text from their other softwares or other web pages. So there must be some workflow. That's why the HTML is supported by your comment text area, right? So find out what that workflow is for your customers, and write your bug report in a way where you are actually advocating for the customer, for the end user, and you're not actually writing it in a way where it is an implementation manifesto for your developer to look at it and do what the tester has said needs to be done, right? So that thing, as I said, uh, sets you apart from rest of the crowd, which has a very strong engineering mindset, and they will by default focus on output, be it code coverage, story points, burn down charts, test reports, defect rate, and all of those things. These are just outputs, right? You as a tester should focus on outcomes, the user satisfaction score, the net promoter score, and uh, accessibility issues, all of those things. Okay, so let me now quickly recap the 5 points that I said. First is establish authority. Take take at least one thing where you think you are some kind of you are good at, and then try to be really good at that thing. Let the halo effect work for you. Second thing is tweaking your communication based on the audience. The third thing is socialize, interact with fellow testers, fellow developers, leaders, and everyone on social media. Not just social media, even your internally inside your organization. Talk to other teams and what they are doing. Be curious. The fourth is taking next step in the reporting maturity cycle, where you just not report the information, you also analyze and add your own bit to that information. And the last one is focusing on the outcomes that sets you apart. So if you go back to your work and follow these 5 steps from tomorrow, I'm pretty sure you will boost your influence by leaps and bounds in next 1 year or so. All right. Thank you, people. All the best. All the best for if you, in case you are planning to implement these points. And if you have any questions, you can always connect with me on my LinkedIn and DM me, or and then we can take it up from there. Thank you and see you all. Bye bye.
That was interesting. Thank you, Deepak, for this brilliant session. And of course, thank you to all the attendees for your valuable time and participation. We'll be back with another webinar. Until we catch up, keep learning, keep testing, and do not forget to follow QA Touch on our social media handles.